Good evening everyone. Welcome to Banao Bharat's Trading for Living Wednesday post market live session 28th of February, and for a change there was no Bank Nifty expiry today because it is a monthly expiry cycle that is going on. Both Bank Nifty and Nifty will have the same day expiry for this month, but from next month onwards this pattern is going to change and we are going to see Bank Nifty expiring as usual on Wednesday, each and every Wednesday, including the last Wednesday, which is supposed to be the monthly cycle. Yes, there is going to be some amount of discrepancy in terms of banking stocks expiring on Thursday, all other stocks expiring on Thursday, index Nifty expiring on Thursday, but Bank Nifty alone, being an index holding the banking stocks, will expire on last Wednesday of the month, unlike up till now, which was like both Nifty and Bank Nifty used to expire on the last Thursday. From the time the daily expiries have been introduced, there has been some amount of changes. Each day we have different indices expiring, but because of the volume and the stakes involved in Bank Nifty, since September Bank Nifty's expiry was moved to Wednesday, but September to Feb the monthly expiry continued to remain on Thursday, unlike the weekly expiries which happened to be on Wednesday. Starting March it's going to change again, and weekly expiry and monthly expiry of Bank Nifty will continue on Wednesday itself, and Nifty as usual will be in the weekly and monthly cycle on Thursday. So this is the chart of Nifty for this week on the hourly time frame. You can see here one big cut today after reaching yesterday's high. From the beginning of the month there has not been much, there has not been much movement that can be traded. The last week closes at 22,250 levels. This week, that is for Nifty, the week begins on Friday, unlike the stocks which begins on Mondays. The weekly candle I have set it up in such a way so that I get a fair view of the weekly cycles for Nifty from Friday to Thursday. So Nifty on Friday made a high of 22,297, and from there on it has been falling for 2 days, Monday and Tuesday. It had some kind of a sideways movement with a slight upward bias. That's what we discussed yesterday also, but today it all turned weak 1 day before the expiry. Today it has closed to the last week's low of 21,875. We are not much away from the last week's low. Watch out, tomorrow being the monthly expiry, watch out for 21,875. if you see 21,875 being taken out, then you can expect more weakness and probably expiry will be a very tough one. Yesterday, as we discussed in the session, we thought today is going to be one minor positive and most of the unwinding will happen on Thursday, but the way it has started off today, most of the unwinding has started off today itself. Probably it will increase tomorrow also, and the rollovers, unlike other months previously, the rollover from February to March may not be that big. So that might be one sentiment change that we get to know tomorrow evening once the F&O data is published by the stock exchanges. On Friday, the with today's movement, actually the sentiment for the month of March is significantly changing, and probably we may not see new highs for the month of March. So this high that we saw for February 22,297 on Nifty may hold good for the month of March also. March, probably we are expecting the dates for elections, and some amount of unwinding has already been seen in mid cap and small cap. Those things might continue, which might carry even the PSU and PSU banks also little lower in the coming month. All of that we will know tomorrow. Some kind of a Q or some kind of a initial information we will get in tomorrow's price action based on how the market is holding up on the monthly expiry day, the fifth weekly expiry for this month, and the rollover data for the month of March. What is the open interest that we will be starting for the month of March, that we will know on Friday. So that is a very important data point that we need to watch for the coming month of March. Why? Mainly because, like, the F&O positions which were significantly built up have to get liquidated at some point before there is any major mishaps in the market, and that might kind of trigger some downward movement in the indices as well as in the stocks, which we have already started seeing today. Nifty quickly has in one day fallen more than 1% from the highs. It has just cut yesterday's high and it has fallen from there, and watch out for last week's low of 21,875. If it holds, then we can say, like, March we may once again see one more high. But if it doesn't hold tomorrow, it is a very crucial day. If it doesn't hold tomorrow, then probably we are headed below 21,500 also for a brief time until clarity emerges in the political scenarios. So that's the main takeaway for Nifty. Bank Nifty also has given up. Yesterday we had discussed the level of 46,426, and we can see here it had just cut 46,426 and tried to climb back, but today since morning it just failed, and probably tomorrow it might open around 45,500 levels, and from there on how it goes is what we have to wait and watch. For now, the immediate support is only at around 44,600. Will it fall big time tomorrow? We don't know. There may not be a big fall because the one round of big fall has already happened today, and people have already got a cue on how it might progress tomorrow, and most of the rollovers might have already started, and most of them must have not waited for rollover positions until the expiry day, and they have done it probably today itself. So that being the case, tomorrow definitely it might be weak. Even when we look at the global markets have opened weaker today, so that will have some kind of a hangover in the tomorrow morning session. And of course our own data points are showing some amount of negativeness, mainly because of F&O expiry being the main factor. Some amount of unwinding is expected, and the long build-ups, if it has to get liquidated, and if it has not already been liquidated large portion, if it is not already liquidated today, then probably, like, tomorrow we will see one more fall, and the clear picture of how the March might pan out, we will get it on mostly the Friday. So for tomorrow's takeaway, mainly expect some F&O positions unwinding, and how much of rollover happens, the information which we will get on Friday, that will decide the further course of action for the coming month, that is March. So main takeaway from today's session, rollover has already started, liquidation has already started. Probably because the markets have fallen, it is clear, like, the liquidation is more and rollovers are comparatively less. So my take for now is February's high 22,297 may be the high, and we may not see new highs in the month of March. But then how the March might pan out, we will get more information once the F&O rollover data comes on Friday. So that's it from my end for now. Have a good trading session tomorrow. and position accordingly. Do not be in a hurry to trade in the opening gap down. If at all, if there is a gap down tomorrow, most likely there is going to be a gap down. Wait for some time, wait probably for at least the first candle to close, which is the 15 minutes candle. So by 9:30, how the initial panic is panning out, and then you wait for one candle to pause. Post that one candle, you can decide whether the day is going to be on higher side or on the lower side. My view will be mostly markets might open weak, it might stay weak for some more time until afternoon, and probably there may not be big crack. What I'm trying to say is even though market opens weak in the morning, there may not be big crack, because most of the action that had to happen has already happened one day earlier, and tomorrow continuing another 1% fall may not happen, but definitely there is going to be some amount of panic reaction in the morning, and it might stay towards the lower end of the day until noon, and probably after that also there may not be any big pullback, but my sense is there will be gap down and some kind of sideways movement for rest of the day. So play accordingly. As and when the data emerges, that is when we can decide. But to begin with, we should have some kind of a plan. If you have already holding F&O positions, then just see how you can manage your F&O positions in such a way without much of a damage, you should be able to exit it. So that's it from my end for now. Let us see once again post market session tomorrow. Until then, have a good night. Om Swasti.